The special people I'm talking about are ABDULWAHAB MATEPO, the interim national president of Spinal Cord Injuries Association of Nigeria. MATEPO, you're welcome.
Hello, good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks for your great contribution last week.
Thank you very much, sir.
And it's a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
And I also have OLUWATOMISIN OLATAYO, who she is a journalist, gender expert, and inclusion strategist. Tomisin, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
I love your narrative for last week.
Thank you.
We are here again to have another interesting session.
Definitely.
Well, the topic we are still deliberating upon has to do with the issue of discrimination against persons with disabilities, Provision Act 2018. And the topic is disability law, progress, challenges, and the way forward. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is another opportunity for us to deliberate and actually call the attention of all stakeholders to the need to be concerned about the current situation of the special people, not only in Ogun State, I'm talking of Nigeria in general. I remember you were talking about the issue that it's not only government that can do this job alone. Well, before we go into that, let me also, can you please elaborate the special people, special groups that we are talking about? Can you please enumerate them?
Okay, so in Nigeria right now, we have the umbrella body, which is the Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities. And under that umbrella group, we have other associations of different cluster of disability groups. You have the Spinal Cord Injury Association of Nigeria, SCAN. You have the Nigeria Association of the Blind, the Nigeria Association of the Deaf. You have the Association of Parents with Children of children with intellectual and developmental disability. That's also another body. Persons affected by albinism, persons with albinism, is also another association of persons with disabilities. You have persons with affected by leprosy. You know, they have their own base in their colonies. They are also a cluster group of persons with disabilities.
What about the deaf?
Yes, I just said it earlier, that Nigeria Association of the Deaf.
Okay.
And you can also begin to say, okay, the Sign Language Interpreter Association of Nigeria. That's also another interested stakeholder in all of this.
Thank you very much. MATEPO.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were looking at the role of stakeholders in providing an enabling environment and succor for the special people.
Yeah.
Who can we classify as stakeholders in this program that we're talking about?
Thank you very much. As a matter of fact, every human being is a stakeholder. Every one of us, we are all stakeholders, because disability does not select people that become disabled. There are some disability that we may not have again. Like if anyone now who is an adult who doesn't have albinism, he will not have it again. Anybody who is not a dwarf, because the dwarf are also disabled again. They are also member of the disability community. Nobody can, as an adult, we cannot become dwarf again. But some other disabilities can be acquired. Even polio can be contracted as an adult. Then we all go out every day. Even in our house, if you go to the bathroom, every people fall. Disability can happen to anybody anytime, as long as the person is still alive. And if we pray for long life, then one day we become disabled. Either we have poor eyesight, we can no longer walk, we can no longer use walking stick, we have to use the wheelchair. So
disability is varied.
It's everybody.
And it's a life thing.
Exactly. So now, who are the stakeholders? I want to go back to that.
I mean, it's a life situation now.
Yeah, it's a life situation, that's right. It doesn't know anybody. It is a ubiquitous thing that it doesn't select. So who are the stakeholders? We know as far as we are concerned, the government is the number one stakeholder, because government is the custodian of rules and regulations in the society. Government enact laws and have agencies that will enforce the law.
And provides enabling environment.
Exactly, for the law to be applied. Now, if I enter an organization, I discover that my right has been violated, and there is no law enacted by the government to protect my right as a person with disability, then I would say the government has failed me. But if the government has enacted a law, for example, I have the right now to go to the other arm of government, like the judiciary, to say, come on, the government has promulgated this law. The law has been violated. My right has been denied. I want to seek redress. So let me start with the government is number one stakeholder. Who are the people in government? It is not the governor that is not even the number one stakeholder. For example, we have ministries or agencies of government that are responsible for the affairs of persons with disabilities. Like in Ogun State, for example, where we have the Ministry of Social Development, Women Affairs and Social Development, which handle disability issues in Ogun State. And we know that there's no law that can be enacted without that law passing through the Ministry of Justice. The Ministry of Justice is also a key stakeholder in Ogun State, for example. Then we have the House of Assembly, because if the government presents a draft bill to the House of Assembly and they do not pass it, then the chain has been broken. It is no longer continuous. So we have that there. And then we have the law enforcement agencies to also now take action when the laws are violated. So those are key stakeholders. But then the members of the public organization also are also key holders, because if the government says, okay, that the federal law says 5%, if you have 100 persons in your employment, at least 5 of them must be person with disability. And people begin to see, to employ a disabled person will be too expensive. If it's a wheelchair user, I have to provide ramps. But even then, if you have a public building, you are supposed to provide ramps, because that's what the laws. Even the building code, as we have come to learn from the Nigerian Institute of Building, they have codes that when you build a structure, there's something you must put in place, even if there were no disability laws. But everybody is just doing what he likes, because nobody is holding anybody accountable. So we are all stakeholders. And then members of the public. In fact, the greatest challenge we face as persons with disability is from the society, because of the barriers we have created. Yeah, it's from the society. Because, yeah. Do you know that even if you go to religious places, you want to go and worship, some people will not sit beside you if you're a person with disability. They will not sit beside you. So they want you to stay at home. If you go, like when you cast your mind back to the COVID-19 period when nobody was going out, we were saying that, oh, this is what we are experiencing as a person with disability, because we were not able. If you go out, nobody will want you to see you. Ask, what do you want? If you have a SIM problem with your SIM, you go to the telcos, for example. They say you'll have sent somebody. What do you want? What are you looking for? You want to go to shopping mall yourself. Wow, you are in trouble. You are in trouble. Say, what do you want? Why can't you send somebody? Why can't you send somebody to come and do this thing for you? So they don't want to even see us at all outside. And you begin to look at, okay, even to go and worship, people will run away from you. Even though, no matter how you dress, if you go to some places of worship, they will give you 10 naira, as if you're a beggar. Because you are a wheelchair or you are a blind person, they will think that you are a beggar. So people who cannot stomach all that and stand by on their feet say, no, I have to be part of the society. They are pushed back. They stay indoors. There are some of them who don't go out for 1 month, 6 months, 7 months, 1 year. They just stay indoors, because they say when they go out, they face a lot of discrimination and stereotyping and all that. So they prefer to just stay indoors and they don't go out. But it's not even helping. It's not helping. No matter how bright you are, if you want to go to school and there are no facilities for you to go to school in this, you cannot access the classrooms and all that, there's nothing you can do. And even if you get the qualification, you go to a place like Tomisin said last week, if we have seen someone who will do the written examination, everything, they will do it online. They come to physical, the final stage, they say, we didn't know you're a person with disability now. We didn't know you're a person with disability. So, notwithstanding all the scores you have made, all the performance you have demonstrated, because if you are interviewing me virtually, you will not even know I'm on a wheelchair. But it is when you see me and say, no. We have cases of people who are draft. Like I mentioned, draft are also disabled again. And they did everything. When they got to the place, or the bank, they say, if you give you this appointment, the customer will not see you if you are sitting on your chair. Why not raise the share for the draft man or draft lady for his side to be seen?
What are the solutions?
The solution is the change of attitude. That is why we are reaching out to community leaders, not only government. We are reaching out to community because we know the influence the community leaders yield on people in the society, wield on people's society. For example, in this our project, we visited some traditional rulers. We visited religious leaders, because it is people believe in their religious leaders. when a pastor and a man tells you this is the way you treat people with disability, they will abide by those things. So we want to also work on communities, and we also want to discuss with CDAs and the other CDCs. These are community-based organizations that, and we're happy that even in Ogun State, that we have a CDA that the chairman of that CDA is the person with disability, the person on a wheelchair. So that's the type of thing we want. If you see that your chairman, your CDA, or your finance secretary, or one of your officers is a person with disability, I mean, you begin to move closer and so these people with disability can also be productive, they can also belong, they can all do that. So we also want social integrity, integration from the grassroots level. That's why we say it's not only the government, but the society, the community also have a lot of role to play.
Thank you very much. The Act actually provides for full integration, inclusivity, and access for special people in all phases of life. We are talking about public places. What are the problems that special people are facing in the family?
Family, as we all know, is a bedrock of all forms of socialization. And you find out that when a person either is born with a disability or you get disability along the way, your family is the first set of people that needs to give you that support. But unfortunately, lack of information, ignorance, poverty sometimes makes the family weak in this responsibility of providing adequate support for persons with disabilities. Shame, stigma is also one thing. You find out that a lot of parents, when they have children who are with disabilities, they lock them up. They don't want people in the community to know. And even when people in the community knows, they don't want them to be seeing those children all the time. Lack of information, sometimes they don't know where to take those children to. Even as an adult, they don't know what to do. And so if you're a woman, they're probably praying that one day you just get somebody who gets you pregnant and then you have a child, or they find you somebody that they can match make you with, not caring that you as an individual should also be able to make your choices. And so it brings us back to that creating awareness, sensitizing the public that disability is not a curse. It's not as a result of somebody committing sin or somebody not being liked by God, or, you know, it's a phenomenon. It's something that is normal. It is natural. And if we begin to see it that way, we begin to see that children who are with disabilities, young persons, adults who are with disabilities, there's actually no difference. You know, it's just the access.
Most of the time, they are very intellectually endowed.
Exactly. You know, I tell people that, okay, so my husband has this joke he used to crack that, how do you hear what I am saying here? And I'm like, I'm blind. You want me to be deaf again? No. So it means that once there's a partial loss or a complete loss of a particular part of a body, the other parts of the body rise to debate. Like, they rise to the occasion, they try to do as much. And so if I am a blind person, my ears can be very, very sharp. I can hear things from miles away. I can smell things from miles away. And so all of these sense organs combined with my brain, which is still working. Mind you, disability, depending on the kind of disability, even children with developmental disability, intellectual disability, there are talents that are inherent in them. It just needs you providing them an enabling environment, supporting them with genuine love, empathy, not sympathy. And then you begin to see those inherent talent, inherent, you know, God's gift and natural endowment. You begin to see it manifest in very, very miraculous ways.
Let's quickly look at the children or youth, so to say. How can we help them? Let me narrate a sordid story that someone narrated to me. It was during this last Salah festival that I just noticed that there was an influx of people into some hospitals. And the person was explaining to me that, at seasonal periods like that, they used to have a lot of people being brought to hospitals and the like, particularly psychiatric hospitals. I was asking, I mean, what do you advise families to do? Should it be when there are occasions that they want to protect unnecessarily, protect quote and unquote, because that is an extra effort to probably guide against their image? what should a family do to ensure that there is sanity for that children and there's inspiration for that children?
Okay, so there is protection and there is overprotection. You know, when you try to protect a child from his or herself, that's overprotection. You know, I get it when parents try to protect their children from harm. That's normal. It's a natural instinct as a parent. You want to guide that child to ensure that the child is safe and all of that. But when you see this child with a disability, you see them making efforts to want to do something. And then you say, no, you can't do it. You shouldn't do it. I must not allow you to do it. That's where the line needs to be drawn. You know, I was telling a parent who had a child with an intellectual disability. She said that this child likes to destroy things. And I said, it's not destroying things, actually. The child is only trying to be curious. So you place a toy. And I told her, I said, get this child building blocks. Those are toys that build it, let it stand, build it to whatever house shape or whatever. Let the child destroy it, like you claim that the child is destroying. But guide that child to build it again. So that way you are trying to motivate, you are trying to build something in that child. And so because the child is feeling curious, you're thinking, oh, Base Jenny likes to destroy things, you know, that's his own talent. No, that's not. The child is not a destroyer, as it were. And so as parents, we have to seek guidance, ask questions. Do not lock up those children, because at the end of the day, the shame that you are trying to hide from is right there staring you in the face, because those children will not go away. They will remain with you. And if you poison them, the government gets to know that's murder. You know.
Go for it. Go for it. MATEPO.
Yeah.
Still talking about issue of disability.
Yeah.
And then the need for care and concern.
Yeah.
What are you advocating? Let's look at non-governmental organizations.
Yeah.
What is their place?
As a matter of fact, non-governmental organizations are doing a lot for the disability community. This program we are doing now, for us to be here, we got support from NGOs. And if you see the disability community functioning today, it is because of the support from the NGO, because the government does not give subvention to any disability group in Nigeria. They don't give to anybody.
And what are you doing towards that?
When in those states where you don't have a law, how will you even fight it? You see, so the NGOs are the ones supporting disability groups in Nigeria today. The bulk of the support we get is from NGOs. And so they are doing a lot. So we need to actually salute them and really appreciate them. And some of those NGOs are the reason why disability community is becoming visible. You can see them. They can do programs, they can go places, they can be involved in so many things, just because they're so. That is basic. So we really appreciate the NGOs for what they are doing. Although there are some NGOs that are using disability to exploit the society. There are some people, especially those organizations established for people with disability. You see some NGOs that the founders are not persons with disability, but they will tell you they are working to support people with disability. And they will just do some things and bring photographers and they take things, and then they say, we have given assistance to 100,000 members of the disability community in Nigeria and all that. So, but we have those ones. But you know, like in every society, in every station, there are bad eggs. So you cannot do that. But we need to give kudos to the NGO, because they are the ones supporting the disability community in Nigeria. Both local NGOs and international NGOs. They are doing a lot.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You are a journalist.
Yes, sir.
How will you measure the role of the media in the emancipation and care for the special people?
Okay, so I just would say that the mass media is also doing a lot. However, because we are gatekeepers, that's our job to do a lot, actually. And so a lot must also continue to be done. And reporting disability cases, news around disability, I think the media needs to move away from that pity perspective. What we project to the people. I gave an example somewhere where I talked about the film industry, for instance. You know, usually when people watch disability-oriented movies, you see where the person is, you know, in some dilapidated, some pitiable condition, and all of a sudden something just happens and then the person begins to look beautiful. because he is no longer a person with disability. And so that's the kind of projection that we make. And so everybody is assumed that immediately you're a person with disability, you are in abject poverty, you are in ignorance, you are probably not even going to be seen in the society. So we must move away from that narrative. We must begin to see persons with disabilities, even in the media, as capable of hosting other shows other than Disability Matters. You know, I see that a lot of times when you as a person with disability, you know, you approach a media house, and then they say, we already have somebody anchoring a show for persons with disabilities. And you're wondering, did I actually go to study mass communication because I want to anchor only shows for persons with disabilities? So these are narrations that we must move away from. And I give kudos to OGTV. I mean, I feature on Ladies Rendezvous every Monday, and I'm the only person with disability in that crew. And so it means that they are seen beyond the fact that, oh, maybe it's only Disability Matters I can talk about. You know, so I see all of these things, and, you know, in reporting disability news or disability issues, stories, trainings for journalists, trainings for reporters, because a lot of times I see it, sometimes they want to address you, they don't even know what to call you. They are looking at you like, if I say deaf and dumb, is it acceptable? And I said, no, you just say deaf, or you say hearing impaired, you know. So these are constant trainings that as individuals in the media, as media organizations, we can begin to facilitate to ensure that people are up to date, because disability is not going to go away. Technology has recognized that, and technology is moving ahead to ensure that persons with disabilities can coexist, can participate in the society at their full capacity. And so the media should also begin to project it. Let's talk about these things in our regular discussions. Let's have it like it's a normal conversation that we should have, because we are a part of the society.
Yeah, thank you very much. Matepo,
Yeah.
what is the associations doing with the issue of exploitation of the special people?
Yeah, all the disability groups do not look at this exploitation with, I mean, do not take those things don't take them lightly at all. And that is why most of those who are exploited are people, you know, that who are outside the fold of the organized disability community. Let me put it that way. I'll give you some example for that. If members of the Spinal Cord Injury Association of Nigeria, for example, you want to do anything for our members with Spinal Cord Injury Association of Nigeria, or if you want to do it openly, then there's we as leaders in the disability community, we actually vet some of these things they invite us to. So some organization will say, come send 10 members to come and participate in this event. And what we do is to ask, what is the purpose of the event you want to do? Why do you want us there? What do you want to achieve? Because we do not want us just to be used for photo shoots. We don't want people to be just see us and they take photograph and go away. So it is those who are outside the disability community that you will go to the street where you have, like go to Kano Street in the Butebeta now. If you want 100 disabled people, you will get. So those ones can be exploited because they are outside the circle of the organized disability communities.
I'm also talking about criminal issues. Even in the disability community, we say the prison should be accessible. You understand me now? When we say prison should be accessible, and cost should be accessible, we are saying that because there could be criminals among people with disability, because they are part of the society, the larger society. Some people could be criminals before they become disabled, isn't it? Because if criminals do have accident too, they could have spinal cord injury, they could become amputees and that. So we also advocate for inclusive prison services, inclusive legal services at police stations and law, and the courts should be accessible to persons with disability. When you go there, either as a litigant, or as a defendant, or as a what do you call it?
Complainant.
As a complainant. So we also take note of that, because in every society, in every organization, we see semblance of people that constitute a larger society.
So that is the way we are going to wrap it up today on Your Image, your public relations program on TV. Thank you, OLUWATOMISIN.
Thank you very much, sir, for having us once again.
Thank you, ABDULWAHAB.
Thank you very much for having us.
Viewers, we are glad you stayed with us this long. Until next week when we have another program, I say bye. I'm your uncle, Aki Kudero.